You are listening to the Savage FINcast, Episode 30, State Fair Zucchini.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that can't stop, won't stop. I am Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
And I'm Raven Perez.
And we're back again for another episode. Got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, this month. We got a bunch of news items. We got trivia, of course. And later on, we're going to talk about Savage Dragon 195.
It's a cram-packed show.
Yeah.
As well as the 30th anniversary Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book, which was by Gary and Frank.
Yeah, they contributed to one of the, I believe, 5 or 6 whatevers.
And that's Gary, Carlson, and Frank Fosco.
Vignettes.
Longtime Savage Dragon collaborators, for those that don't know.
Cool. So,
let's get right into the news. Or, well, no, what have you guys been up to?
I think it's good. Let's touch base a little bit.
I mean, me and Raven, this week,
Oh, yeah.
we have been hyped as all hell.
Uh-huh.
E3.
Oh, yeah.
Video Game Expo for all the greatest nerds.
It's Video Game News Christmas, if you don't know, Craig.
yeah, I don't know anything about video games.
It's
But
just basically
I'm interested.
This
Let me know what you guys have to say.
this one show, this one time a year, all
It's a
the
big
companies,
It's a big media blitz. All the big companies pull out all their big guns.
and they just say, hey, guess what? We
Video
got
games.
30 new things coming out. Here's all the things, and you just get excited like every hour, something new, and often multiple times an hour, something new and amazing is announced. It's
Actually,
awesome.
I saw that there was like the Powers TV show. Is that something to do with like PlayStation? I saw an announcement for that. It was like at first I thought it was supposed to be like on Fox or something, and then
You mean based on the comic?
yeah. And now it's coming out through like PlayStation TV or Xbox TV. I don't know.
Well, Sony has their PS TV thing.
I think that's
so I
what it
wouldn't
is
put it.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
weird.
like it's the PS TV is like a Vita without a screen. You hook it up to your TV.
Kind of like a Roku that plays games.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Well, they're taking on the Power show.
That is
Huh.
weird. So they have
That is
like
the
their
weird-
own exclusive programming.
Well, maybe the show's being made by Sony. Then it makes more sense.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense.
I don't know.
Because Sony makes most things.
Sony announced like some movie stuff out of the E3, so they kind of used the E3 to like do little other entertainment stuff.
Well, Sony's hemorrhaging money in a lot of their various. Darn it! Their TV division is in the dump.
Oh yeah,
But the only place they're making any money is in video games and movies.
which everyone hated that new Spider-Man, didn't they?
Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
I thought it was generally liked. I mean, if Eric liked it, it must not have been terrible.
The people I talked to were like, "Oh, I hated it. It sucked."
Well, I don't have any interest in any of the non-Marvel Studios movies, so I haven't seen any. Although I heard X-Men was really good.
Yeah, everybody seems to like X-Men.
Well, I haven't really liked any of the. I haven't seen any. I didn't see the new X-Men and I didn't see the new Spider-Man, but I wasn't a fan of the first Amazing Spider-Man.
I hated
No.
it.
It kind of bored me. And then the X-Men, they were really, except for like First Class, those movies haven't really done anything for me.
I have only seen X-Men, X2, and First Class, and those apparently were all the good ones.
Yeah, 3 is horrible. That's the one you left out. It is the most god-awful thing I've ever seen.
I heard the new one fix that problem.
Yeah, so that's what I heard is that this new one was just back there with X1 and X2 in terms of quality. So.
I saw the original Wolverine Origins, whatever, and that was completely horrible. But I didn't see the second one, the Wolverine.
What's the vibe? People like
I think that was middling. It was okay, but it was kind of dull in parts.
Man,
Did you guys see
It wasn't as good as
Godzilla?
you'd hope.
how do you make that dull though? That story, isn't it like Wolverine in Japan fighting the Hand or something?
Wolverine in Japan. How do you fuck this up?
Easy if you're Hollywood.
And I wanted to see Godzilla, but I didn't get a chance.
Oh, Godzilla was freaking awesome.
It was great.
Oh my god, it was everything you could want in a Godzilla movie.
It was really good.
Except for maybe Godzilla.
Okay, my girlfriend, hardcore, did not want to go to this movie. Like, it was one of those, like, sighing and eye rolling, and, like, I really had to drag her there. When it was done, not only did she, like, turn and be like, that was great, but the audience was clapping.
God damn it! Now I want to see it.
Oh, it's good. And the worst part is we can't spoil the ending because
Nope.
we dicks.
Yeah.
Won't say nothing. But,
This-
hey, the weird...
If you like Godzilla in any capacity, you'll love this movie.
This is kind of late, but the last movie I saw was the last Captain America, and I thought that was terrific. I thought it was the best superhero movie I've seen to date.
A lot of people online, my friends online, were telling me that it was a really good movie, like better than like Avengers, and I went and saw it, and my opinion was it was one of the better ones, but it wasn't as good as Iron Man or Avengers.
Yeah, I think it's the best of all the. I don't know, everything I've seen so far. I just thought it was incredible.
I never got to see it, but everybody has had basically Craig's reaction that I've been hearing.
It is good. Personally, and this is a really weird way to say it, it's a really good Metal Gear movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you like Metal Gear, you'll probably
I just
dig this
like there were at least 4 different villains referenced and appeared. They might not appear in their like as their actual in their villain costume, but
right.
at least 4 different like Captain American villains appeared, which were that was really cool. It's just neat. Like the Avengers, I didn't like because it was like they're fighting this big alien army, which I wasn't even familiar with those aliens, and not even like a big Marvel type character.
They were created as like a Skrull replacement in the Ultimates.
Yeah.
And because I believe Fox has all the Skrull rights with Fantastic Four, they use them in Avengers.
That's exactly correct. They're ripped straight from the pages of the Ultimates.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just like Captain America. It was more grounded. It was more like a Jason Bourne type, Bourne Identity type thing with
it's definitely
superpowers, but
it's a super spy thriller.
yeah.
In
Oh.
almost every, and it really Captain America at his best is that. So.
Huh. I'm down with that. I'm real sad that I didn't get to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
So I just want to add, since we're talking about things that we've been into lately, before we go on too long, I just got finished reading a book which I was super into. I read it in a week. Is Marvel Comics: The Untold Story by Sean Howe. Have you guys seen that or read that?
I have. Do tell.
Oh man, it's so good. It's like 400 pages, but I could not put the thing down. It goes through like the whole complete history of Marvel, but it's all done by like the guy interviewed everyone behind the scenes and did research on different interviews through the Comics Journal and stuff like that, and it's just amazing. I just learned so many things I had no idea about. Like there's a whole chapter, a whole like third of the book is about like the 1970s at Marvel, and it's just an insane time. It's like a lot of the professionals there were in their teens or in their 20s, and they were just doing whatever the hell they wanted. It was just like insane. It had like characters like Jim Starlin and Steve Englehart and stuff like that. Talks about how they used to just like drop acid and walk around New York City and think up like stories for Doctor Strange and stuff like that. And it's Steve Gerber's such a character with Howard the Duck, and like it was an age of writers being their own editors and stuff like that, and it was just insane. Like you just read these stories and you're like, my God, like it seemed like if you wanted to be in comics and you were like in your 20s, you just like applied to Marvel and became an intern, and then eventually they gave you your own magazine to write or something. I don't know.
Or you're Jim Shooter, and you just
Jim
become a
Shooter
writer at 16.
it was like 14, I think, when he started at DC. But imagine that. It's just insane. And then like the whole stories in the 80s with Jim Shooter as editor, and the everyone just freaking out about him, and I guess he was a real tough editor. And then John Byrne, he's such a dick in this book. Like it's crazy, like just the things he does and stuff like that. He's such like a company man too. It's so weird. He's almost like the villain in the book, and it's just funny. But yeah, they go through all Chris Claremont and the X-Men and stuff like that, and just
How far does it go through?
it goes through to present day almost.
Disney buyout?
Yes.
Huh.
Oh, so it talks about like Quesada coming on and all that good stuff.
Yep, and Bill Jemas, and like it talks about that whole Marvel thing that he did, and I don't know if you remember. Yeah,
I bought that.
I think it goes up to Disney. I'm almost sure. It's like it just came out like last year, but I could not put it down. So anyway, I don't want to go on forever on that. But if you guys want something awesome to read, especially if you like comics, it's one of those things you just can't put it down because you know all the names and you know all the people. You know what I mean? And it's like to read about them.
Did it say anything positive or negative about Bob Harris as an editor?
I'm
a big fan.
Remember, to be honest.
Yeah, Bob Harris's era was my favorite era, and way he got fired at the end because they didn't tie into the first X-Men movie as well as investors had hoped.
Yeah.
Always kind of sucked because when Quesada or however you pronounce his name came on, that was my downfall with Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Quesada era.
That was well. When it was like only in Marvel Knights, when Marvel Knights was his playground, it was good. But when he tried to turn all of Marvel into that, I could not handle it anymore.
Yeah. So
yeah, it sounds like a good book. So it's a nonfiction novel length book, all text.
Yeah, all text, 400 pages is just like I said, you can't put it down. It's pretty. It's a fun read.
Kindle.
It's interesting.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sweet, good recommendation.
Anyway.
So let's get into the Erik Larsen news.
Sure. First bit of news. Appears Erik Larsen drew a variant cover for Superman issue 33 from DC Comics. The variant was penciled and inked by Erik, and it features Superman and Batman, and it's part of, I guess, a series of variants that are appearing throughout the whole DC Comics line, kind of promoting the 75th anniversary of the Batman character. So,
now, this thing surprises me.
Yeah,
because
it's weird,
I thought Erik didn't want to do anything with Marvel or DC ever again.
Nah, I don't think that's true. I mean, he'll throw him a cover here and there. He did like a Wildcats cover for Jim Lee not too long ago. I just don't think he's interested in spending his time like doing a series for them or anything like that.
I want to say he colored this too.
It
Yeah,
definitely
he did.
looks like he colored it.
Okay.
It's on his. If you guys want to see it, it's on his Facebook page. I think he also put on Twitter. Maybe at some point, Raven and I will post it on dragonfan.net. But
the reason he probably drew this is because he got to draw Superman in the underpants.
yeah, part of the thing he said was, for all the variant covers that the artists were given their choice of what version of the character they wanted to draw. And go ahead.
And that is a hell of a Gil Kane Batman.
Yeah, and if you look on Bleeding Cool. I don't know when we'll post this, but at some point Bleeding Cool posted a story and they featured a bunch of the variant covers, and almost everybody that drew Superman drew him in the old costume, which is kind of telling.
New 52 Superman costumes.
Poop.
You gotta have those underwear. I'm sorry.
See, I don't think you need the underwear, but I think you need like some sort of red. I don't know. The belt sucks is all. You can do it better. I'm a bigger fan of the swim trunks myself.
Yeah.
Not the Speedo.
Like the old school.
Like how Darwin Cookie does it, where basically he's
Did you call him Darwin Cookie?
Cook, Darwin Cook.
I
always
don't
pronounce
know.
it wrong.
I want to say it's Cook, but Cookie is good.
Sorry, Jim.
He's like, rockin', no good.
Yeah, god damn it, correct
I'll
me.
definitely agree that the classic costume is definitely better than the current costume. I just think that there are variations you can do that don't involve the swim trunk. I mean, involve the underwear.
Yeah.
Of course, Erik Larsen went on a bit of a, I won't call it a rant, but that it isn't really underpants. It's just different colored regular pants. Two-tone pants.
I like that argument that you've never seen him put on the suit and then pull up underwear over it.
Wait, so he said that it's just like two colors, like it's one piece?
It's a one piece.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Makes the most sense. It's what I've always assumed. It's not like he's wearing tights and then wearing pants over tights.
That's what I always assumed.
Oh.
How is the Christopher Reeve Superman? Is it pants over tights?
Jeez, I have no
I
idea.
say it's underwear, like underwear. But they'd have to be sewn in place or they would look weird. So one piece makes sense.
I just never pictured that. It doesn't make sense in my head.
You know what? Here's the teller. You never see Superman with a wedgie.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He's constantly picking it out of his butt cheek.
Great. Caesar's ghost. Oh, God. It's a good cover, though.
Well, let's go on now.
So the other piece of news we have is that Erik is back at work on his mystery project. Anybody that's familiar, this is like way back in 2007. Erik put up a picture online. It was a double-page spread, and it had a Volkswagen bus in front of what looked like a haunted house.
Rundown house.
Yeah, it was dilapidated.
Spooky.
You know what? I mean, if it wasn't haunted, I mean, it definitely looked creepy. So he explained that it was a new creator-owned project. It's unrelated to Savage Dragon, and it's not related to Scooby-Doo, although, who could blame you for thinking it was Mystery Machine in front of another, creepy old man's haunted house. But he also, what's got us talking about it is that he put that same double-page spread up on Facebook, and it was inked this time. And he said that he was working on a character he created nearly 30 years ago that has never seen the light of day. Finally, some closure. So it's super exciting stuff. He also said that he's going to be doing the pages blown up. So they're twice up. It's larger than the sizes of even the recent pages of Savage Dragon. So it's awesome stuff. If you remember that most recent episode of Savage Dragon where he was doing the twice up art, I mean, that always makes for killer visuals. So.
Yeah, I have no idea what this could be, and I've been waiting since 2007, so I don't know.
7 years.
That's what
Yeah.
So that means Ant is probably going to come out in about 5 more years? Because didn't he announce that about 3 years ago?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's got to be tough when you have Savage Dragon as a revolving commitment.
But it's just just don't announce it until you're going to put it out there.
Yeah, people get excited about things. I don't know. I think it's better to be teased than to not be teased at all.
I don't know.
What do you really think it's better to be teased 7 years though?
I think that makes it more interesting.
Holy crap! It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. Someone could go through their teens. I'm no
Someone
longer
got into comics and out of comics in the time that
Yeah. So yeah, but it's neat. It's cool to hear that it's starting to resurface. I guess, like I said, he inked it, so he's definitely working on it.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't redraw it.
7 years ago.
It's so much time.
Think about that. Picking up the reins from something you started 7 years ago.
Eesh.
Well, I penciled this 7 years ago. Time to ink it.
Time to lightbox it and redraw it. Anyway.
Yeah. A quick last piece of news. This is a bit late. Back in April, Erik was interviewed for episode 65 of the Our Cosmic Podcast. You can check it out at multiversitycomics.com/category/podcasts.
I like the name of that podcast.
It was a pretty good podcast. They lost me. They do a kind of like a game show format at one point with Erik, and it goes on for a little bit, but other than that, it was pretty good. It's always fun to hear Erik talk to a bunch of people. Sometimes they ask pretty good questions on this one too. But like I said, they got to a point where they did a game show thing with him, and it seemed like Erik wasn't really that into it, but he played along with it. It got a little boring. But the question part was fantastic. They asked really good questions. A lot of times with interviews, it's they ask the same questions, So this is a character that you made up when you were a kid, and how did you get the name? It's they weren't asking those kind of questions, so it's definitely worth listening to.
It's a step in the right direction, at least.
Yeah. So why don't we jump to this month's trivia and start with going over episode 29's question. So last episode's question for our Savage FINcast trivia was, and it was a softball, we recognize this, but we'll go through it anyway. The last major change in direction with Savage Dragon occurred back in issue number 76 with the Savage World story. Larsen has stated that the Savage World direction was influenced by a DC comic book. The title character also made unofficial appearances throughout the story arc. What DC comic influenced the Savage World arc? And we got a bunch of responses. Michel Fife, friend of the show and awesome comic book pro. You know him from what's his new title now at Marvel?
Ultimates.
The
Yeah,
Ultimates.
he's doing the new Ultimates.
And Copra, his creator owned, and he's the artist and writer of Copra. He's always chiming in, and we appreciate him and his input. He wrote in Softball City, Commandy. Of course, he's right.
Disqualified because Softball City was insulting to our feelings.
Yes. John Panozzi, he wrote, the DC comic character that inspired the Savage World arc is Commandy. And that's also correct. Then we also had John Turner write in. He said, hi guys, I believe the DC comic that inspired the Savage World storyline is Commandy, the last boy on Earth. And then he went on to say, loved the show and thought it was about time I had a go at the trivia question. Short of Twitter, I don't get to interact with many people about comics, let alone Savage Dragon. From my point of view, you guys are providing an essential public service. Keep up the great work. Well, we appreciate those words, John. Thank you for writing in.
Yes,
Definitely.
we appreciate it.
And then last up, we got Josephat Gomez. He said, hey guys, just listening to the podcast, and the answer to the trivia is Commandy. Now I have a question for you all, but you don't get a prize for answering.
Then what's the point?
Yeah, forget it then. I'm not even going to read. No, I'm just kidding. Do any of you guys have an issue that you are missing from your collection? Mine is 128, the crossover with Wanted, and 170 with Baby Mighty Man. That plot is going to pay off in 15 years. That was him saying it, not me. So you guys have any issues that you are missing?
Only most of them.
Surprisingly, you are missing a lot, right?
Yeah, I've only got complete run from 90 up, and everything below that is spotty at best.
Well, that's the good stuff to me. I love those early issues.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't gone back and kind of filled that in.
I got all the trades, so I've got the trades
okay.
through as far as they can go, and then there's like that chunk in there I still haven't got because for some reason I still haven't picked up Archives 3. I don't know what the hell I'm waiting for.
So you've read everything then?
No, actually, that's Archives 3 stuff. I'm still a bit spotty on.
Oh,
I pick up most of it through osmosis.
gotcha.
Oh, okay. Through letters,
All the-
columns, and closure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good at reading between lines.
Cliff notes. What about
The Wikipedia helps.
what about you, Raven?
I am missing. See, it's funny because I'm scrambling through to find my little, I've got a pick list that I keep in my wallet. In case I'm ever in the comic shop, I can dig through the back bins and find them. Because I'm only missing 2 issues, and they're weird. They're like 152 and like 138 or something like that. And here's the kicker. This is what really sucks, is that I owned those 2 issues, so I would have a complete run, except every time I move, I just lose a little something here and there. And those 2 issues are gone. I have no idea where they are. So, yeah.
Left this material realm.
I know. It hurts my...
Somewhere in the negative zone.
So what about you, Craig?
Sadly, I have every issue, every variant, every printing. I'm a completist with Savage Dragon, so
Even the mini series and stuff, like Destroyer Duck and...
yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Newsstand
Well,
copies.
I don't have the only thing I don't have all the newsstand. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I don't have all the non-highbrow universe stuff, other what is it, Backlash, or things where he appeared in other Image comics or anything.
Oh, okay.
I have some of them, but I'm not in. Eric's got to be behind it. You know what I mean? It's got to be for the most part.
So no Love Bunny and Mr. Hell meet
I
Savage
actually
Dragon
have
for you.
that, but yes, I have that. And it's god awful, but I have it. I even have like the Bad Rock issues, I think, where Savage Dragon appears and completely horrible.
As soon as I get those last two, I'm heading into the little miniseries territory. Because at first I was like, I don't care about all that. And then,
you don't have all? You mean you don't have all the miniseries?
yeah, I'm missing stuff like Freak Force, things like that. And
I actually have a complete run of Freak Force.
Do you have the variant for Freak Force, like number 8 or 9 or something?
No.
How about Raven? Do you have all the Super Patriots?
I think I do actually. They're tucked away somewhere. I know I have the trade.
There's 4, right?
Yeah. Do you have them?
I don't have the first. I have Liberty and Justice in trade, and I have the 2 Kirkman ones in singles.
Get ready to get your wig flipped. I think my Super Patriots are the original ones I first bought like as a kid.
Ah.
Yeah.
So like
my wig is flipped.
So then mine are mail order because like I didn't have a comic store, so I bought them through what was it that came in the mail, Mile High or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
So yeah, I got those Mile High ones. So I was like, oh, it's so awesome.
One of the Kirkman Super Patriot series has a Dave Johnson variant, which is so rad. And I actually have an extra I'm going to give away for the trivia, just not on this trivia, though. I'm going to save it for another one.
Sweet.
But it's pretty damn awesome. But anyway, okay. So, thanks.
Speaking of prizes.
Yeah. So, I put everyone's name in a hat, and I didn't really put it in a hat. I put it in my hands. I ripped up little pieces of paper, put it in my hands, shook it around, shuffled them, and I pulled up John Turner's name. And I know that sounds like crap because he's the one guy that gave us all this praise, but I really did pull his name out. So
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Grease the wheels.
So John Turner gets the McFarlane variant to Savage Dragon 193, as long as Raven still wants to give that up.
And as a plot twist,
dun, dun, dun.
Get ready to have your wig flipped, part 2, the sequel. I'm throwing in Volume 1 of Battling Boy. No extra
Nice.
charge.
Get out of here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Raven's Dojo for a big plug.
Oh, well, I don't like to.
Battling Boy is awesome. Paul Pope.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul Pope's Battling Boy. So
Well, there you
enjoy
go.
That. Little surprise.
Go.
Little surprise. So there you go, guys. You never know what's going to happen when you play.
So every time you answer a trivia question, just praise us a little bit. And you'll probably be the winner.
We know that you are an owner of hats. I've seen them on your head, so the fact that you tore up paper and put it in your hands.
It was today while I was at work.
Right.
I wasn't wearing a hat.
Okay.
Anyway.
But yes, I will send it out.
So, what new question can our listeners look forward to?
This episode's question. With the exception of Rita Metermaid and Alex Wilde, name another female character that Dragon dated who eventually ended up in a relationship with a different superhero.
No
Think
Rita,
about that.
No Alex.
Think about that.
Good.
Send your responses to SavageFINcast@gmail.com, and we'll sing your praises on the next episode of the FINcast. One winner will be chosen of all the correct entries, and we'll win there. What?
And I was going to say, don't be afraid to ask us questions.
Sure. Yeah.
Like Josephat did. That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
More of that.
One winner will be chosen of all the correct entries, and will get their choice of either the digest-sized version of Savage Dragon 190, the Larsen variant cover to Jersey Gods number 5, or the rare second printing cover of Savage Dragon 149, featuring the retro trade dress.
Nice.
So, your pick if you win.
Spolt for choice.
So, shall we get on to the whole meat of this episode here?
Oh, yeah.
As long as we don't get onto the meat hole of this episode.
Jeez.
So, yeah. Let's talk about Savage Dragon 195.
It's a good episode.
Well, yeah.
Good issue. Yeah, this is a great cover.
Oh yeah, it's got Maxine on it, so of course it's awesome.
It's
The
another.
action is really awesome.
It's like another. It really reminds me of another like kind of Fantastic Four Kirby cover with the city skyline and stuff.
It's definitely a lot of adventure and intrigue.
I love the look of Malcolm and Maxine's expression on this cover.
Yeah, it's great.
And I like the new logo, damn it.
You do?
I do.
I'm digging it. On this cover, it works. I like it.
It's great.
Have we ever seen this spiky red dude before?
No.
I don't want to say. Yeah.
He's all new, all
I
different.
believe he's all new.
So this issue, number one thing, is that we've been screaming for this since the reboot. Really, not reboot, but since the bold new direction. It's Dark Time, baby.
Dark Time.
Yes.
It's dark. We don't.
I'm legitimately surprised to see her. Like I said last time, I suspected we wouldn't see her till after 200. So
Well, I love
I
how you flip open the book and she's staring right at you. And at this point, we're kind of used to flashbacks, but you don't know if it's a flashback or if it's present day. Because basically she's looking at you saying, "What do you want?" And you're like, "All right, well, which version of Dart is this?"
Right, exactly. Of course, it also kind of sort of looks like Angel, so...
Yes, I was thrown off by who I was seeing.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean, I suspected it was a flashback, so my brain started going all over the place. So...
Yeah, I was
know,
like,
getting-
who is this? What?
So I didn't realize that Allison was such a miserable person, like, all the time.
I think she was always a bit of a bee with an itch.
Yeah, I think when we seen her, like, so when we saw her when she was kind of more of a younger kid babysitting Angel in, like, the Image universe, like, earlier issues of Savage Dragon, they didn't clue her in her character as much. She just kind of was, like, the background babysitter, and then as she transformed to Dart, you seen, like, her backstory, and she was kind of always a bitch.
Yeah.
That's
true, yeah. I mean, that whole extended flashback with Sergeant Marvel, I can't remember when that happened. That wasn't in 115, was it? No, that's when he died.
I think it was 149.
149 is when we got the extended background.
And it shows that, you know, she trained under him. Sergeant Marvel was her grandfather, and she figured out who he was, and then she basically had him train her, and she ended up killing him.
During the big fight during 115, I believe.
Yeah, the
Sergeant
flashback
Marvel
shows that she ended up shooting him, which wasn't revealed at 115. It was revealed in the flashback at 149.
Right. Well, this is kind of an interesting scene because this is another Malcolm flashback, of course, and this flashback is introducing us to Angel,
which I love.
Who's being babysat
I love
by Allison.
little Angel.
Yeah. And all this stuff ties into the events of Savage Dragon 101.
It does, because this dates itself to have taken place after Dragon comes and then leaves in 190. No, issue
100.
Was it 100? Issue 100. But before Universo arrives
in 100, he returns back to the original Image dimension, talks to Malcolm, tells him that his mother is not his real mother. Rapture is just a replacement, which Covenant of the Sword, run by Damian Darklord, has been kind of pulling in all sorts of superhero, like pregnant women, and trying to raise a bunch of like superhero kids as part of his army. So, and what happens is like every time like they fight or whatever and someone gets killed, they replace them with like someone from a different dimension. Like you've seen it happen with Stevenson. You see it happen with, Rapture. It happened with Smasher.
Yep.
So Dragon tells Malcolm about that, and I remember in that issue, like Dragon eventually tells what's her name? I'm having a brain fart. His partner in the police force.
Alex.
Oh, Alex.
Yeah, he tells Alex, "Look, I told Malcolm that Rapture's not his real mother," and she was like, "Why the hell would you do that? There was no reason to do that. Like, why would you tell a kid something like that. And he's just like, his answer was like, I don't know. So this kind of falls into that. Like you saw the last issue 194 where he had the flashback and he actually caught Dark Lord and Rapture talking about how she's not, the original Rapture, and what if he finds out or whatever like that. So so now we see his dad told him, and then he actually saw it from heard him talking for himself, and now it's really like sunk in. Hey, Rapture's not really my mom, and
so your mom's probably not your mom.
Yeah, and this will build up to the scene in either was it 101 or 102 where they actually escape on a flying saucer, meet up with Rex Dexter, who's kind of trying. I don't know if he's.
I want to say they get rescued by Angel Debbie Harris.
Yeah, they get rescued by Angel Debbie Harris, and they go to Rex Dexter's, and then that's the whole time when Universal comes and is destroying the Earth, and a portal, Dimension X portal, opens up, and Wildstar and friends grab the kids and bring them into Dimension X before the world blows up.
Which is the only reason Malcolm's not dead. So.
And if anyone new to Savage Dragons listening to this right now, their head just exploded.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I guess the super short
Well,
version.
not as explodey as this panel on this page.
Sexy beast.
No. Why is Allison reading a Freak Force comic?
Oh, I love it. Isn't that weird?
I don't know. I always find it weird when the comic you're reading references comics you're reading.
Now, there are Savage Dragon comics in the comic, aren't there?
Yes.
There are.
Because he read comics to get caught up on his life, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
So, it's not totally bananas.
But also, yeah, Sexy Beast. What the hell is up with this guy? And why does he want Angel Murphy specifically?
I think he's just a villain. I mean, they're saying, Smasher is kind of out on a mission, so he's probably just a villain that's trying to steal her for ransom or something like that.
That could be it.
He's got like this little Pokemon guy on his head. If you look at it, he's got a little yellow face and hands and feet kind of sticking out of the head.
Oh, he does have feet. Oh, you're right.
It's so Eric's got this big
feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's not. It just looks like it to me.
No, that makes perfect
I see
sense.
it too.
I didn't see it till just then.
I wonder if he's a rejected design for what's his name? Last issue.
Oh, Tantrum, was that his name?
Tantrum, yeah. No, not well, maybe Tantrum also. Now that I think about it, the last couple of villains we've seen all have kind of
weird head things.
Weird head things and other creature things.
Body morphism, like, bodies merged with bodies.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome
kind of a weird trend.
if that little head ripped off and just, came alive.
Yeah.
I know that's dorky, but who cares? We were just talking about robots and Donatello, so it's all good. No, wait, no, we weren't. Editing. I'm so sorry. That will be wrong when we edit it. My bad. God, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry, Jim.
It's okay.
Now you have to remember to edit that out.
I know it's a bitch to edit these things. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Believe me. I got to listen to the whole thing anyway.
I'll shut up about Donatello.
So, what I was surprised about is that Allison in the Image universe appears to be going down the same dark path as Allison in the Savage World universe.
Yeah, well, I think we just didn't see it in the Image universe because the flashbacks from 149 are when she's younger, So
right,
it happened in the Image universe too, but it just wasn't a story that was focused on.
Well, it didn't go anywhere because Universal ate the world.
Yes.
Right.
It's just surprising. I kind of thought maybe something in the Savage World kind of tipped her over the edge because Savage World. But I guess maybe she was always going down this path.
Yeah, I think
maybe not. Maybe she was still just training, and she's a good guy, and she had the
I don't know.
sword.
She's kind of an asshole.
Isn't that the God Sword, you'd imagine?
Yes.
Right, that is the God
So
Sword.
she shouldn't have that, right?
Well, she
no.
was. If you read issue 149 in the flashback, she's training with the God Sword.
Okay.
And then eventually, I think she uses the God Sword or something, and she murders her parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then eventually she shoots Captain Marvel or Sergeant Marvel, I'm sorry, and takes the God Sword. So.
But anyway, this whole flashback, of course, is leading us to Dart confronting Malcolm in the present.
Yeah, I guess it kind of sets up that Malcolm knows Dart. He's familiar, even though it's not the same version. You know, this one in this flashback's from the Image universe, and the one in the main story where he's an adult is from the Savage World universe. But he knows her. He's familiar with her. And I think that's what Erik's trying to convey here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for anybody that, you know, again, is new, all you really have to know is that there's a connection between these two. They know each other.
Yep.
And that's an awesome double-page spread.
Yeah, and I don't recognize any of the villains in the spread, but they're cool looking.
Yeah, I think they're all just new VC goons.
I love the dude with the evil eye.
Yeah, I like the guy with, like, the weird, like, I don't know, wrinkly, messed
Chin.
up acid face. No.
Oh, yeah. The guy
with,
whose
like,
head is, like, really huge in the lower left corner.
Yeah.
Oh,
I,
got the Baron Strucker
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah. I love when Erik draws like faces where like the nose bridge just kind of goes straight into like the forehead type thing. It's a pretty cool design.
It's a great page, though.
Yeah.
As is this, I love the actiony. This second panel, I mean, this page here is like super actiony. Anytime like Dart's hair's flying off the page into the bleed,
What's
that's
that?
good
The
stuff.
Right.
following page is like just like the solo image of her next to the panels. Yeah. This Dart, you know, he draws it on purpose, I'm sure, different than the original Jill Summers Dart with the hair is for Allison is a lot more straight.
It's motion. It's
Yeah.
really conveys it like like zipping around.
Exactly.
Surprised she doesn't chop it off with the God Sword most of the time.
You know, the thing I love, and you'll see through this issue, and I talked about it in previous issues, is that Erik really conveys that Malcolm is a younger character than Dragon, much younger. He's, you know, a teen. Because if you look at this, he's doing a ton of like bouncing around and leaping in the air and flying through the air and stuff that you saw in the earlier issues of Savage Dragon, you know, leaping up onto buildings, like huge jumps. And then like he kind of did away with that as time went on with the original Dragon. And now he's like back at that, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it really kind of helps convey that Malcolm is a much younger person, you know. He's got that agility and strength.
Yeah, I always loved the super agile like dragon jump, and then like you said, it just played on out, and I was like, huh, did he forget about that? But it was just age. It's just age. He's just getting old.
Yeah. And we get to see Dart use her darts again, and I love those grenade darts, and really does some damage to Malcolm during the fight.
Yeah. That was really noticeable about how much damage they did to his shoulder and his side of his face.
Yeah.
This is the greatest with the jumping ability, though. This is because when he said he could jump for miles, it was like an idle boost. This just escape is the greatest thing.
Well, here's a dumb question: who here actually believed that Erik would kill Dart in such a manner?
No, I didn't think he would.
You didn't think so?
Did you?
I did.
Let's get out of here.
I think Erik Larsen has the balls to do it, to nonchalantly kill such an important character in a collapsing building.
I was certain she lived.
No way.
I was unsure.
Nah. I was certain. It never crossed my mind, but it would be
Only
ballsy.
because you got to think, God sword in hand, any falling debris, she's gonna ninja that shit out of there. You know.
It's just,
Yeah.
I don't think that's how physics work.
This whole thing though with the like super jump, just the blind, desperate super jump to freedom.
And then I love this.
Yeah, he's got no end game. He just falls out of the
Yeah,
sky.
no
There's a
plan.
panel like he just turns black, like he passes out. It's awesome.
It's great. I was just like, what a great like exit strategy. Like, oh, I can't win this. Ooh! It's fantastic.
It's great that we see Maxine come back in the book. It's a really funny scene when he's in the hospital bed and basically his nuts are hanging out, and they don't show it, but
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
yeah, it's a great there's a great back and forth between the two. It's kind of just like high school, college BS between boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well, it's great that she is still into him and that she's making the effort to see him.
Yeah,
It just means that hopefully she's not going anywhere for a while.
Right.
because he is an awesome character.
I think we get an image of John Day walking out of the burger joint.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Was it also something about this scene? Of course, it brings in the whole thing about the kids dying last issue, and how all the parents are terrified about Malcolm being in the same school.
Yeah, so
as their
they get
children.
confronted by one of the parents of the kids that got killed when they're eating like dinner or something at a restaurant, and I don't know if they're not at the Rock House Diner, right? That got destroyed.
Nah, it's just
that's
this
gone.
is just a burger joint.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He's walking out.
This I do want to say, so we don't gloss over my favorite part. Maxine is still wanting to hook up, even though, he's got that weird angle of her parents are making her date. And then Malcolm's like, well, I should see other girls then. But Maxine still wants it, I'm just saying. It's good. Let's not neglect that important detail.
The other important detail is that she's out of high school and still wearing a sailor uniform.
Malcolm likes it. But yeah, while they're having their lovers quarrel, one of the parents jumps in there to where Lamar and the kids got crushed last episode. So of course there were no survivors, I'm taking it. So no one's there to tell the story that they pretty much forced themselves on Malcolm. So
Right.
Malcolm's being branded a menace.
I gotta wonder if maybe the new high school run on this book is not very long for this world.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
It'd be very strange to hype it that Malcolm's going to high school and it's going to be a teenage high school book, and then he stops going to school.
And it would be strange, like he's getting attacked left. Well, he's going after some things, but he right now in this issue he's getting also attacked by like Dart in the Vicious Circle. So
Dart is pissed.
How is he gonna attend school and not put people in danger?
Right.
Yeah.
To imagine, just going to class, like people are at risk.
Right. So after this whole confrontation, we get our first look at Red Rage, who's on the cover of the book. In that,
He reminds me of somebody. Is it Destroyer from Thor, or
could be it, or who was the guy?
Devastator, or whatever he's called.
The guy from the Savage World on the little jetpack thing.
Not the Seeker. He's a little Seeker-esque, but he reminds me more of like a Thor villain.
Yeah.
Destroyer.
Destroyer comes to mind for me.
I thought
It's got the metal bands.
You guys mentioned the dude that was his name Seeker? The guy that he looked sort of like this, and he was plaguing Savage
He was
Dragon.
blue, and he was like chasing him around for a few issues.
And he never talked either, did he?
He never spoke.
No.
So I kind of thought this was guy.
But he was more bug-like. Like his armor was like, I always thought it looked more bug-like.
Yeah.
Of
I don't
course,
know.
You got to know too that this also looks incredibly crappy for Malcolm, because here he is in this public place with people accusing him of being a menace, and he starts getting attacked by a super villain.
Right.
And the one little guy had the camera phone, so obviously this looks super bad for him.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
Bad PR.
Super bad for him.
And so they go. They go on a kind of a couple of pages of fisticuffs. Yeah. And Malcolm's really doing some damage to him. It looks like he's denting up his armor, and then he comes to find out, he like rips an arm off here and a leg off here or something, and it's just pretty much an empty shell of like a robot. It's not really. There's nothing inside of it. It's either just a robot or I don't know, or some kind of remotely controlled suit, but it's basically I think a bomb. I don't. It's either he hit it so hard that he blew it up, or it was designed by the Vicious Circle to blow up as a kamikaze type bomb or something.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression.
Yeah.
Although it had a name, it was apparently called Red Rage.
Yeah.
So I want to think it was a guy that got blown up, or a robot guy, but still you had a guy that got blown up.
Well, it's gotta suck for Maxine. Just watching him explode.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she's not used to that yet, I'm sure.
So is it has every character Malcolm faced so far died, villain?
Yes.
On the cover,
Every single one except for Thunderhead.
Plus, think about all the guys previously he killed, who was that Patriot type character?
War and Terror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean he killed Damien Dark Lord as a kid. He's killed a lot of people.
That was more of a misunderstanding.
Well, he still killed him.
Oh no, he didn't actually kill him. He injured him, and then he put him into a coma.
Oh, all right.
And then Universo ate the world.
Oh, all right, yeah. But he killed
So
a
his
couple
hands are
other
clean.
villains too. But he's got a knack for putting people out.
Malcolm's a stone killer.
Well, you spend enough time in Dimension X, you stop asking questions.
And so at the end of this story, we see Dart is obviously alive.
She's alive. The other theory I had was that she was going to be scarred, but apparently she still has both eyes and both arms.
Yeah. Well. Yep. Well, they only show one arm, right?
Well, good point.
I'm pretty sure she's intact.
Yeah, she looks intact.
She ninja sorted her way out of there.
And we see it looks like the VC Goon Samurai just reporting to her.
She's a long timer, right? She's been in the backgrounds for a while, right?
Since at least probably issue 140 or something like that. She's relatively new in terms of Vicious Circle. Like she's not one of the pre-75 Vicious Circle goons.
Oh, okay.
But she's been around for a while now. It seems out of all the newer VC goons, Erik seems to use her a lot.
Well, she's got a pretty good look.
Yeah.
With the gas mask and the hair.
Yeah. So basically, it seems like Dart's plan was to send that Red Rage character to explode.
It's a good plan, Dart. Good use of resources.
And I like that
You're
she's
pro with
too
this.
smart to assume he's dead.
Yeah.
So
First rule: never assume Dragon is dead.
right.
Yeah.
Second rule: never assume Dragon is dead.
I love on this last page how it's like, if you look at the panels, it's just master storytelling. It's Maxine on the roof, and then each panel kind of pans down until you understand you're at street level now.
Yeah.
And then it's Dart in the shadows. Like, that's masterful.
Oh, are they just standing down in the alley below?
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that. For some reason, I thought we were going to another warehouse in the city.
No, they're just
No,
at
I
street
believe
level.
they're down. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
believe
right.
they're down at street level. It's just panning down. You get that top panel. It's Maxine on the roof, and then second and third one is just like the camera's kind of, if you will, is kind of heading down.
You know what Maxine's thinking about in that top panel with no word balloons?
What's that?
State Fair Zucchini. She's thinking, I'll never get that blue ribbon.
Ugh. No
No,
response from Jim. He did not care for that
Jim's
joke.
too classy.
Ugh.
He's too classy. He didn't want to ruin Zucchini for himself.
Yeah, that's it.
It was a good
That's
episode. I loved it. It had everything that you need. It had Dart in a big way. When Dart came in, I was hoping it was going to be, whiz-bang action, and it was.
Yeah. I don't think this top last issue, 194, was amazing.
Yeah.
Thought it was a lot better than 193, which we didn't have good opinions of. I thought it was a good comic, not the best, but I liked it. It has everything I like in Savage Dragon.
You're talking about 193?
This
No,
issue.
this one.
Yeah.
I thought this was a great issue. I
Yeah.
thought this had... Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I liked it better than last issue, but I definitely like it in general as
Yeah.
one of the better issues.
Yeah, I think last issue might have just been all the extras really pushed it over the top.
Yeah.
I think this one...
I think just coming off of 93 helped push that one over the
Yeah,
top.
it did too. Lower that bar, then raise it on up. Yeah, this was compared to the last issue. I didn't love it as much, but it was still, like I said, when Dart appeared, I wanted something big to happen. And Malcolm's not dead, but I mean he's probably pretty jacked up, and you can assume he's going to fall into vicious circle control. So
Right.
it's good. It's interesting stuff. And
I'm a big... Go ahead, sorry. I didn't mean to cut
no.
you off.
I was just going to say, I think, isn't this also going to be pushing towards the end of the graphic novel?
Should be 6 issues. This is only 3.
Oh, this is only 3. My bad. I was going to say it'd be a good building towards a good cliffhangery type thing there. My bad. Forget it. You were saying,
I'm a big fan of the reoccurring kind of villains, and so it was good to see Dart. I'm not a fan of one and done kind of villains that just come and go, maybe for like minor villains. So I really enjoy seeing kind of Dart show up, and I hope that some more of these villains kind of like Malcolm finds a staple of kind of reoccurring baddies and gets his own kind of like arch nemesis, you know?
I would like to see more recurring villains. I do like that you can see a villain get killed at any time.
Yeah.
But I would like to see more recurring villains.
So this issue had another was it the second Funnies backup?
Yep.
By put together by or edited by Adam Pruitt. This one is okay. Night Watchman, for me, it's tough. Like Night Watchman, that serial, like it feels like something I have to follow daily. Like these are like the Sunday strips to like a daily strip, and I know Chris Ecker posts it on his like Twitter daily, or at least every other day or something like that, or twice a week. But it's hard for me to go month to month and just read 5 panels.
I will say that I didn't really feel like a connection to the previous thing, or if there was one.
I almost want to say it almost felt like these are like 2 separate stories. This is like it's just showing us a piece, a glimpse.
Yeah.
Of like you described, this is like a weekly strip, and we're seeing the Sunday strips.
Right.
So they won't really connect to each other so much as just kind of set something up, and you just kind of fill in the blanks yourself.
Yeah, I think that
maybe we'll see next month.
Like I said, I know he posts it on Twitter. I think they should put like a link to the Twitter like page or something so people can follow it like on a weekly basis as well.
Yeah. I mean,
anyway.
I get your point about these being like daily or weekly strips, and we're getting them like a month and a half intervals.
Yeah.
Which kind of throws off like any sort of continuity.
Right.
But I think they're cool just in general. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Misery Loves Sherman strip is a reprint.
Well, I only feel like that with Night Watchman because it's like a serial, like connected stories. The other ones are just kind of like jokes, and it's like you don't need any kind of connecting storyline, you know.
And you're right. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like, Night Watchman is like the Prince Valiant of the comics. And the others are like peanuts.
Yeah, there you go. There's no continuity.
And I really, I hate to say this, I didn't really get the Daredevil one that much.
Really? I thought it was hilarious.
I don't get
it. It's the God Boomerang. You throw it and it never comes back.
It's a bit like just a joke on God weaponry in general.
But what the God Sword? I don't know.
It's a dart it's a boomerang you throw and it just keeps going. Don't you see?
I don't know. I guess I'm just adult. I figure like the God Sword meant it just doesn't break and cuts through anything. So a God Boomerang would just go through anything. I don't know. I'm adult. Whatever.
Well, the God Gun doesn't shoot people. The God Gun grants wishes. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
Actually, the God Sword is almost like the weird one out of the bunch because it just does what it does.
It's a really good sword.
Maybe it should grant wishes when you cut people in half.
That would be a fantastic power.
Well, I'm sorry, Simon, then. I'm just an idiot.
I did like it. I thought it was funny. Just, again, God weaponry being something that's just so unexplained anyway. It's just kind of a good poke.
Right.
I like Misery Loves Sherman. I love that art style.
Yeah.
Love Chrissy stuff.
It's good stuff. Night Watchman, I'm so sorry. I want to love you, and you are beautiful. I'm confused by your continuity. That is all. And this pinup, holy guacamole.
Yeah, who's it by?
It was in the... Oh, we don't have the letters page. Guys, we don't have the letters page.
Oh, no. What do we do? We got to fake it.
How will we ever find out?
We got to read that tiny little square in the corner.
But as I say, Zambala...
Lamala.
It's by Lamala.
2000, in the year 2000.
Oh, okay. Zambala 2000.
I don't know. Cool pinup.
So it's probably an older pinup from somewhere. I know. It's weird. He shows that little dinosaur-looking guy, and I suddenly realize that's where the fin comes from. I've never really been able to imagine Dragon's fin like being from an animal until now.
Really?
I don't know. It's a little weird to me.
All right.
One last comic.
Angel Dragon and Toasty Pie.
Toasty
Fantastic.
Pie.
This is great. It's great because it ties into real continuity.
It does, actually.
Isn't that great? I wasn't expecting that at all. Because I thought it was going to be just another pie joke, and I was like, oh, another pie joke. And then I read it, and I was like, oh, this absolutely fits into the let's all go join the Super Patriot team.
Scott James needs to draw a Angel back up, like, continually, forever.
Yeah.
I love Beer Belly. It's like Popeye with beer.
It's good stuff. Good coloring.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really good coloring.
Scott James stuff just fits well with the Savage Dragon characters. He's great. I wish you could see something from him every issue of Savage Dragon.
Yep, co-signed. Maybe he's going to draw that Super Patriot team book.
There you go.
That doesn't exist? What are you talking about, Raven?
I'm just talking nonsense.
I'm just saying, wouldn't it be a beautiful world we live in if that happened?
Oh, did you guys see the logo? See the Angel Dragon logo?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I totally glazed.
That's the logo I wanted to see on the comic.
Nice.
When Angel took over the book and became the star. And not Malcolm.
It could still happen, Jim.
So, just real quick, we're going to talk a little bit about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Specifically, we're going to talk about IDW, of course, has the Turtles rights right now because Viacom bought the Turtles, blah, 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 end of independent comics as we know it. They put out a, what was it, 30th anniversary?
Yes, 30th anniversary
Jesus,
special.
30th. Batman's 75 and Turtles are 30. God damn.
Yeah.
At any rate, this 30th anniversary book had a bunch of short stories, like really short, like 5 pages each, of the various eras of comic book Turtles. Like it starts out with the original Mirage done by Kevin Eastman, then it does a bit about Archie from whoever did that, of which I only have one really strong memory about. There was this book called Mutant Ninja Turtles Meet the Conservation Corps, and it was like this like super environmentalist Captain Planet bullshit.
Well, that's going to stay with you.
Yeah.
It was actually really good.
Did you learn to
And
recycle?
the worst part was, it's one of those books. It was a one shot. It was like they created this team, they did this crossover thing, did this whole environmentalism is good thing, and then there was like this open ending that there never was a sequel to.
Damn it.
And that frustrated me for most of my life.
Apparently.
But I never saw what happened
Apparently,
next.
you're still talking about it.
I can hear the frustration is what's awesome. Damn it. Closure.
Yeah. They also did have a story about the current Turtles from IDW, and there was a story by Jim Lawson from the Volume 4 of the series, which is my favorite Turtles era, is Volume 4, with Peter Laird and Jim Lawson. What was that?
Was Volume 4? What comic company did that come out?
Oh, Mirage. Mirage did that. See, there's 4 volumes of Turtles. Volume 1 and Volume 2 were done by Mirage. Volume 3 was done by Image. And Volume 4 was done by Mirage again.
Yeah, but didn't also Dreamwave do like a Ninja Turtle comic for a while?
Yeah, that was based on
Carlson.
the animated series from like 2003.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing how many different comic companies.
Oh, there's so many variations.
Yeah.
But see, that's what's great about the... And there's like 2 more variations. There's another animated Turtles comic going on right now, and I want to say there was another one before that. But at any rate, that's kind of what's really cool about the Turtles, is that there's a lot of different interpretations of the Turtles.
Yeah. They established,
kind
I
of
think,
what makes-
real early on that they were going to just go all over with that.
Right. Take the core concept, do whatever you want tone-wise.
Which is cool.
So the reason why we're reviewing this is because Gary Carlson and Frank Fosco did
the Image series.
the Image series,
Volume
and
3.
they have also... Gary Carlson, as you know, is the co-creator of Vanguard, who plays an important role in Savage Dragon, and he also... Gary has also written a lot of stories for Erik for Savage Dragon, like the Freak Diner, the Rock House Diner, and Vanguard, and Gary Carlson has drawn a lot of those comics.
You mean Frank Fosco?
I mean Frank. Yes, sorry, Frank Fosco has drawn a lot of those. And I believe Erik handpicked Gary and Frank to draw this Ninja Turtles comic because at the time. Wasn't Mirage kind of done with Turtles, and they just...
I don't know the circumstance. I think they were trying to like get it more out there.
Yeah, I think the sales were kind of poor.
Yeah, and Image was like the new kid on the block,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
million copy sellers.
yeah, I might be talking out of my butt, but I think what happened was, Eastman or one of the creators gave it to Erik and said, see what you can do with this, and gave him like free run with it for a couple years. And
well, I know in the early Savage Dragon appearances, Mirage was doing their own Turtles crossover comics. Yeah. So at some point in there, they decided to move it over to Image under a new creative team.
Yep.
But at any rate, this story is really quick. It's like 5 or 6 pages, I think. Maybe 7? No, it's...
I don't know. Regardless, it's...
But it's really short, and it just kind of like touches on a few of the things. You may notice right away that the Turtles in this universe, this timeline, or whatever you're going to call it, Donatello's a little messed up. He's a cyborg. Raphael's missing an eye. I'm not sure if anything horrific happened to Leo or Mikey.
Yeah, didn't Leo lose a hand?
You're right. He's got one hand. Yep, they all got maimed. That was one of the big criticisms about this run, is that basically all the Turtles get maimed.
Which I thought was cool. Even though I never read it, here's what I did know, and I always liked it. Which is, it's one of those things, I do actually want to pursue Image Ninja Turtles for this reason. It seemed like a series where things happened. I know Splinter became a bat.
Yeah, Donatello got dropped from like a helicopter in the first issue, I think, and cracked his shell and broke his back, and then they used nanotechnology or something to make him a cyborg. So that's why it's a cyborg. And I think Gary had said that was always, like comics, nothing's ever stays, everything kind of goes back anyway. And their plan was for Donatello eventually kind of be cured and get rid of the technology, but they never had a chance to visit that.
Yeah, they never got around to it. This particular story has Mikey has broken his leg off camera, I believe. I think that's just for this story. And he's out of shape, and they decide to go for a run in the sewers. And they run into what I can only assume is an old adversary who... the trouble is, I don't think any of us have read the entire run of Turtles.
No, I didn't. I read the entire Image run, but it's been like, I don't know how many years, at least 12 years since I last read through it. So they run into another like cyborg type character who apparently they've had history with. Leo comments that he chopped him to bits at some point, and now he's made his return. My assumption is this is one of the few original characters to come out of the Image run that they've brought back. There was a female like Shredder character too, or something at one point, like some ninja girl.
Well, there's actually a lot of... Yeah. Well, there's one female Shredder. That's actually pretty standard because, remember, in Comics Turtles, Shredder dies at the end of the first issue. And he never comes back, except as a shark. It's complicated.
Why? I can't remember why Krang is, like, helping them out.
Oh, that's not Krang. The Utans, they're an alien race. They were never... There was never a Krang in the Comics Turtles.
Gotcha.
They're a helpful alien race. They're brain-like. They use technology to assist themselves because they're physically weak. They're actually responsible for the Turtles' mutations because it was their radioactive ooze that got into their sewer.
Huh.
Yeah, they're cool. I like them.
I'll tell you one thing though was cool to see about this. Like I said, I read the original series and it was all in black and white, and so this is the first time I've seen Frank's art in color for Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Frank mentioned that originally it was supposed to be in color, but they didn't have the orders to make it work. And that this is sort of was an opportunity.
Which is hilarious, because their orders probably now would kill most anything.
Yeah. But this was their opportunity to put color on it like they wanted to in the first place. Personally, I like it better in black and white. I honestly think Gary's black and white looks amazing.
Yeah.
I really do like this, though, even though not knowing the guy. I mean, just seeing, like... the way he like took over the raccoon, and like it's just such an awesome like visual. Like it makes me wish I had read the original Image.
Yeah,
run.
well, and like you were talking about Raven before, with each character being different, like Splinter turning into a bat. At one point, Raphael leads the Foot Clan with like Casey Jones' mask on.
That's awesome.
Loses an eye. I guess I can't remember Leo. I remember faintly like Leo losing a hand at some point, but
Well, you can see it here. He's got this metal thing over his hands.
And I think, like, does it say in the beginning of this book, on the beginning of this chapter, like, I think it was like Erik's like goal was to make each turtle kind of unique. Yeah. So I don't know if that was Erik or Gary or whatever, or it was like Erik just talking to Gary and saying, "Hey, this is, you know," if Gary came up with everything and Erik just gave him the kind of the whole, just try to make them unique, you know. And
well, I think that's, if you took a second to read like the previous Archie story in this book. Yeah. You'll see that Raphael is like all black.
Yeah, I remember that too from back in the day.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened during the Archie run. I don't know what the context of it was, but that was to make like him more different. And you can sort of tell by the context of this story that Raphael isn't really with the Turtles as a team anymore. Yeah. He's off doing his own thing. And in Volume 4, there's actually... See, the problem with Volume 4 is it sort of just kind of ends, and it never really completes itself because the Viacom sale happens, and then Laird kind of gets tired of the Turtles and decides he doesn't want to continue writing it, although he has put out further issues over the last few years. But during that series, Raphael gets turned into a vampire, which makes him like Hulk out into like a giant, like prehistoric turtle-looking thing. And Donatello gets shrunken down to 2 inches tall, and so he operates a robot turtle body.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and Mikey goes out into outer space to not so much explore, but to visit, and he just sort of becomes... Basically, spoiler alert, Splinter dies of old age in Volume 4. He passes away, and the Turtles kind of split up and go their own ways, and different things happen to him.
See, that's what's so awesome about comics, like, you know, they're just absurd things when you really think about it, but that's what I love best about comics, how absurd they can be and how different. Like, the people bitching and moaning about the Image you know, oh, Donatello's a robot, and, you know, Raphael's got one eye, and, you know, Leo's got his hand cut off or whatever. I mean, it's just fun. It's like, why are you bitching? Do you just want nothing to happen to these guys? You know, we know it's comics, and eventually, yes, they'll go back, you know, to that way, but just have fun with it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just silly. It's like, you know, it's awesome having, you know, all right, shrink them down to 2 inches and have them control a robot. Like, that's cool. Like, you can't do that everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just silly nonsense. It's comics.
If that happened in another medium, people would be like up in arms.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, I wanted to just say real quick that, like, I like that Frank and Gary have basically not ignored what happened. They basically are telling a story with the characters they created in the time frame that they created it. They acknowledge all of what went on.
Right.
The following story is the Volume 4 story. Jim Lawson does it. I love Jim Lawson's art as a Turtles artist. I think he's got this boxy style that I just love. It's completely different than Frank's, but I just dig it. But the point is, like I said, all these things happened to the Turtles during Volume 4, but none of it's referenced in this story. It's just a standalone story where they get reunited with a character named Shadow, who's actually Casey Jones's daughter.
Right.
Okay. Who is a ninja in her own right. She's a pretty cool character in general. She's a character that, a lot like Malcolm, she's introduced as a very fairly young child in the early issues who grows up throughout the run of the series. So she's an interesting character. But this story in particular doesn't make reference to any of the real stuff that went on during the series, and that kind of annoyed me. It made it feel like a really incidental story, whereas the Frank Fosco, Gary Carlson one feels like a continuation or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, definitely, it's awesome just seeing the Turtles in their, like, cyborg Donatello, one-hand eye patch. I mean, it lets you know that this is straight out of that continuity, you know?
Right. So, yeah, generally it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was a good look. It's good. It's nice to get a look at all these different eras.
Right. Side
by side, just to see how different they are from each other. And they are very different from each other.
This is a cool collection. I think this is sweet. I mean, definitely. And great work, Gary and Frank, as always.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, that's an issue. That happened.
Well, that's
a good issue.
Fantastic. Good stuff. And one could almost say that all that's left to discuss is Savage Dragon 196. Strange things are going on in Chicago's notorious danger zone. The poor and downtrodden are being mysteriously transformed into hideous freaks, and Malcolm dragons being thrown into a situation beyond what he's used to as he faces a horde of desperate killers with power to spare. Malcolm's struggle to measure up to his famous father intensifies as he plunges into a new, dangerous adventure. The bold new direction continues.
A couple things spring to mind. If strange things are happening in the danger zone, shouldn't these sort of things not be happening?
What?
These sort of things should happen in the danger zone all the time. So it's not strange, is it?
So
It's strange to people that don't live in the danger zone.
See,
Second thing. Second thing is, do you think Malcolm's dead?
What?
He blew up. Maybe Erik solicited and then he changed
I think
his
you are the
mind.
most gullible comic book reader in history after this episode. Between Dart and now this comment on Malcolm.
he's got to be alive because he's being thrown into a situation beyond what he's used to.
Who knows? Could be Maxine's book now.
Only I would read that, probably. Me and Maxine's judgmental parents.
So yeah, looks like he's got a lot more to look forward to.
It's going to be good as the race to issue 200 begins.
4 more, or 5 more.
I think
5 more.
that's going to be a good jumping off point for me. I'm just going to,
Get out of
I'm
here.
Yeah, literally get out.
just going to step off, man.
I'm done with this ride.
That was good, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I recently got off a long-running book.
Oh, yeah?
I stopped reading Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The war
Oh
arc.
my God! No, hold on, Jim.
I'm tired of
I'm
this.
sorry. Jim, did you not read the issue after the war arc?
I did not. Actually, I haven't got through all the war arc.
Okay.
I'm still only halfway through
Let me
it.
tell you,
I'm just-
you can still
ready.
quit. I give you permission to quit if you read the issue. You have to finish the war arc because otherwise the issue won't make any sense at all.
Okay.
Then read the one issue after the war arc, and if you're still not interested, then quit. Because
Okay.
all I can
will
say,
do that.
here's what's up. When I finished the war arc, I was like, oh, God, that's disappointing. And I was really bummed out. I should have known better. Kirkman knows how to deliver. The next issue flipped my wig off this planet.
And with that, thank you for listening to the Walking Dead cast. I just
Which
kidding.
there are probably more than one of.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. You guys can talk Walking Dead.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, and we'll see you again in a month.
See you later. Well, a month. Someone's optimistic.
Take that as a challenge, Larson.
The Savage FINcast is hosted by the Gutter Trash Podcast Network, which can be found at guttertrash.net. The Savage FINcast is proud to be members of the Comic Addiction family of podcasts and the Comics Podcast Network, which can be found at comicaddiction.net and comicspodcast.com.